In the vibrant city of Seoul, South Korea, the story introduces us to Jae-hyun. Early in the morning, by the side of a grand river, Jae-hyun is deeply engrossed in his exercises. This dedicated man isn't just about good looks. He holds the prestigious title of CEO at a company dedicated to managing basketball athletes. To add to his impressive profile, he used to dominate the basketball courts as a professional player in some of South Korea's top tournaments. As the day progresses, another character emerges on the scene. Soo-jung, a poised woman with a purposeful stride, is on her way to her office at a leading South Korean cosmetics firm, where she holds a significant leadership role. However, the day has a little twist in store for her. As she's holding her morning coffee, a stray basketball comes out of nowhere, striking her and causing her to spill her drink all over her outfit. Once inside her office, Soo-jung doesn't waste any time. She's soon seen engrossed in searching on her somewhat dated laptop. Her goal is to gather details about Jin Chol, a renowned basketball player. She envisions roping him in as the face of her company's latest cosmetic products. In the midst of her research, her dependable assistant, Ryu Jin, enters the room, offering a replacement pair of shoes and clothes to Soo-jung after the earlier mishap. Although the heels aren't quite what Soo-jung had in mind, she decides to wear them anyway. After all, she has an important journey ahead, a trip to Busan to personally meet and discuss business with Jin Chol. In another part of the city, inside the sleek office of Mighty Sports Agency, Jae-hyun is quite busy. This isn't surprising since he's at the helm of such a significant agency. He's in the middle of guiding his staff, ensuring everything runs smoothly. But amidst all this work, a familiar face appears. Dong-won, Jae-hyun's longtime best friend. Without wasting any time, the two of them quickly leave the office, making their way to the train station. They need to get to Busan, and they need to get there fast. Things get interesting when Jae-hyun is on this journey to meet a junior of his from his basketball days, someone who's now a big deal in the sports world. And as fate would have it, this rising star is none other than Jin Chol, the very same player Soo-jung is so eager to meet for her company. As it turns out, these odds are about to get even slimmer. Once aboard the train bound for Busan, Soo-jung finds a spot and gets comfortable. And Jae-hyun happens to sit next to her. The two of them, with their interconnected objectives, are now side by side, traveling to the same destination. The journey isn't silent for long. Jae-hyun breaks the ice by offering Soo-jung a sandwich he had with him. She's hesitant at first, but with a bit of gentle persuasion from Jae-hyun, she accepts. However, just as she takes her first bite, she chokes a little. Perfect timing, though, a train attendant is nearby selling beverages. Eager for something to soothe her throat, Soo-jung quickly asks for banana-flavored milk. But there's a tiny hiccup. The attendant doesn't have that particular flavor. Just when she's trying to decide on another drink, her phone interrupts with a call. It's from her boyfriend. A little surprise awaits when we learn that Soo-jung has been with her boyfriend for a decade, and yet there's no ring on her finger. No proposal in sight. As she's about to take the call, in a slight twist of events, she stumbles into the train attendant, causing her to lose her balance and land squarely on Jae-hyun's lap. Later on, during a brief halt at a transit station, Jae-hyun steps out. When he returns, he has a treat in hand. The banana-flavored milk Soo-jung had been craving earlier. Observing this, Soo-jung jumps to conclusions. She believes Jae-hyun might be making a move, so she quickly points out she's not available, mentioning her long-term boyfriend. However, when Jae-hyun leans back and takes a short nap, the temptation proves too strong for Soo-jung. She sneakily grabs the banana milk and takes a sip, savoring the flavor. Things take a peculiar turn when Jae-hyun, perhaps jokingly or in a dreamy haze, suggests they could nap together. Soo-jung, taken aback by the proposition, tries to switch seats. But it seems the universe is playing tricks on her. Every time she finds an empty spot, it's swiftly taken by another passenger. In the end, she finds herself back in the very same seat beside Jae-hyun. As the tale unfolds, Soo-jung and Jae-hyun find themselves grappling with a new challenge. The train, with its rhythmic clattering and bustling passengers, suddenly halts due to an unforeseen engine malfunction. The timing couldn't be more unfortunate for Soo-jung, who is en route to the restroom. Emerging from the restroom, she can't help but eavesdrop on Jae-hyun's phone conversation. It's about Jin Chol, the renowned basketball player, who is also her potential brand ambassador. Piecing together the details, she realizes that both of them might be heading to the same destination. Spotting Jae-hyun making his way to exit the train, she quickly decides to accompany him, thinking they might have common goals. However, life throws them a curveball. Just as their feet touch the platform, The train's engine revs up and it speeds away, leaving the dew in its wake. Undeterred by the hiccup, Jae-hyun recalls a friend who owns a workshop not far from where they are. He figures they might find some means of transport there. As luck would have it, his friend lends them a car, and together they embark on their journey to meet Jin-chol. Arriving at Jin-chol's place, the ambience is thick with melancholy. They are met with the sight of mourning relatives and a subdued atmosphere. It's clear they've stumbled upon a funeral. As they learn, Jin-chol's grandfather, a pillar in his life, had recently passed away. In the midst of this somber gathering, Jae-hyun finds an opportunity to reintroduce himself, acknowledging his history as Jin-chol's senior from their basketball days. But what catches everyone, especially Soo-jung, off guard is when he nonchalantly introduces her as his wife. It's a bewildering but strategic move in their unexpected day. Jin-chol, the central figure in their quest, unfortunately, isn't home. Nevertheless, both Jae-hyun and Soo-jung, respecting the solemnity of the occasion, offer their condolences and pay respects to the departed soul. The day gradually transitions and Jae-hyun suggests they refuel with some food. Once refreshed, he drives Soo-jung back to the bustling heart of her workplace, as she has a crucial task ahead, crafting and presenting her company's ambitious promotional strategy. Just when Soo-jung thinks she's finally settled and ready to present her ideas at the office, a sinking feeling takes over. Her laptop, essential for the presentation, has been forgotten in Jae-hyun's car. An unfortunate oversight in the whirlwind of the day's events. In the meantime, Jae-hyun in his car receives a call from his buddy Dong-won, who's waiting to be picked up. But as Jae-hyun is driving to Dong-won's location, he spots Soo-jung's laptop on the passenger seat and realizes the dilemma she must be facing without it. While all this is going on, Dong-won, ever the distracted gentleman, is busy admiring some attractive passersby. Completely oblivious to his surroundings, he loses his footing and takes an unexpected tumble into a roadside culvert. The timing couldn't be worse, as Jae-hyun drives by that exact spot, missing the sight of his friend who has just had an unexpected fall. Back at the office, Soo-jung is nervously trying to improvise without her laptop. But just in the nick of time, Jae-hyun bursts through the doors, laptop in hand. Swiftly, he assists her in setting up the projector, saving the day in her presentation. As for Dong-won, he's had quite the misadventure. After climbing out of the culvert, battered and smelling of muck, he tries to regain some semblance of dignity by taking off his soiled coat and placing it on a car. But in a twist of bad luck, the car drives off, taking along Dong-won's suit, and even more crucially, his wallet. Once the commotion is over, Jae-hyun finally picks up a disheveled Dong-won. Together they head to a familiar haunt in hopes of running into Jin-chol. Little do they know that the day still holds more surprises. Upon arriving, Jae-hyun's eyes meet a familiar face. Soo-jung, who's there, possibly looking for some comfort food after the chaos of the day. Following all that happened, Jae-hyun, Soo-jung, and Dong-won decided to grab a bite together. As they chatted and ate, Jae-hyun mentioned he had just missed Jin-chol, who had been in that very restaurant not long ago. As they're discussing this, a young woman walks up to their table. Turns out, she's the daughter of the restaurant owner and has known Jae-hyun for a while. Jae-hyun, with a mischievous grin, introduces Soo-jung to her as his girlfriend. After enjoying their meal, Soo-jung reaches for her wallet, ready to pay her share. However, the restaurant's owner, a kind-looking woman, steps in and insists that the meal's on the house. Soo-jung soon learns that this gracious woman is none other than Jae-hyun's aunt. When Soo-jung is about to head out in a waiting taxi, the restaurant owner's daughter rushes out, breathlessly revealing that she knows Jin-chol's current whereabouts. Without a second thought, Soo-jung ditches her taxi plans and hops back in the car with Jae-hyun, determined to finally meet Jin-chol. Poor Dong-won, feeling a bit left out and without any money, tries to catch up. He hails a taxi, cheekily telling the driver that Jae-hyun will foot the bill for the ride. But when the driver discovers Dong-won's empty pockets, he's none too pleased and promptly drops him off on the side of the road. And as if his day couldn't get any worse, Dong-won soon realizes he's left his phone in the taxi. Shortly after, Soo-jung and Jae-hyun decided to visit a temple situated atop a mountain. Their main reason was to find Jin-chol, whom they believed was there. The path was challenging, with numerous steps leading to the temple. But upon their arrival, they discovered that Jin-chol had already departed. Soo-jung's face reflected her disappointment, so to lift her spirits, Jae-hyun suggested they take a moment to appreciate the panoramic view from the temple's highest point. While they were taking in the scenery, Jae-hyun narrated a tale about Jin-chol. He spoke of how Jin Chul once relinquished his promising career all for the love of a woman. Jae-hyun remarked on how such decisions, driven by youthful passion, might seem naive in hindsight. He emphasized that genuine love should develop organically and not be forced. Their conversation was briefly interrupted when a striking woman named Bo-kyung approached them. It turned out she was Jae-hyun's ex-girlfriend and is currently working as an aerobics instructor. Sensing the potential for an awkward situation upon seeing Soo-jung, Bo-kyung made a swift exit. It was later revealed that Bo-kyung had moved on in her personal life, now being married and a mother to children. As the day continued, the duo began their journey back. Midway, they came across a popular local game, tossing coins into a container situated in the river. Jae-hyun reminisced about how he and Jin Chul used to frequent this spot and often mastered the coin-tossing challenge. To demonstrate, Jae-hyun threw a few coins, landing them precisely in the container, much to the admiration of onlookers and an impressed Soo-jung. The spiritual ambience of the temple beckoned them to offer prayers. Post their quiet moments of reflection, the skies darkened, and rain began to drizzle. The unexpected downpour meant they had to seek a nearby shelter to stay dry. Just then, Jae-hyun noticed Soo-jung's discomfort as she struggled in her heels. Without hesitation, he offered a gentle massage to her aching feet. This kind gesture left a lasting impression on Soo-jung, making her believe that Jae-hyun is genuinely caring. Later, during a quick supermarket trip, both were in for an unexpected moment. As they approached the checkout counter with their drinks, Jae-hyun was taken aback to see a pack of condoms among Soo-jung's purchases. In a bold move, Soo-jung proposed they get a hotel room together. Once inside the room, perhaps to gather courage or to quell her nerves, she quickly consumed several beers. The atmosphere in the room grew more intimate as Soo-jung initiated a move, drawing Jae-hyun closer and starting to unbutton his shirt. But Jae-hyun, sensing her nervousness, paused to ask why she was rushing and what or who might have influenced her to act this way. Soo-jung hesitated, making the atmosphere more tense. As Jae-hyun leaned in for a kiss, she deftly moved aside and busied herself with the room curtains, trying to hide her embarrassment. After a moment, she confessed to Jae-hyun the reason behind her haste. She had been in a relationship for a decade without ever being intimate with her partner. This revelation provided Jae-hyun with context and insight into Soo-jung's actions. In the midst of their intimate moment, Soo-jung took the lead, leaning in to kiss Jae-hyun passionately. As their connection deepened, Jae-hyun paused to question Soo-jung's motives. She expressed her belief in him being a genuine individual. Yet, sensing her genuine kindness, Jae-hyun decided it wasn't the right time. He suggested they step out for some fresh air, wanting to ensure that if they moved forward, it would be within the bounds of a meaningful relationship. Misunderstanding his intent, Soo-jung felt hurt and rejected, assuming that Jae-hyun was merely toying with her emotions. As she distanced herself, Jae-hyun hurriedly tried to explain his rationale, emphasizing his sincere feelings for her and his wish for their relationship to be built on more than just physical intimacy. Finally grasping Jae-hyun's perspective, Soo-jung's anger dissolved. In an adventurous mood, Jae-hyun proposed they sneak into a nearby basketball stadium. Under the stadium lights, they enjoyed beers and playful basketball. Their fun was interrupted by the night guard's arrival, prompting them to dash into the gym. Amid the adrenaline and the thrill of the chase, Jae-hyun and Soo-jung shared another passionate moment, culminating in them expressing their love for each other in the secluded gym. The day after their intimate night, Soo-jung decided to put on some makeup to feel fresh. However, she didn't expect to bump into a group of elderly women, who turned out to be part of a gymnastics team coached by Jae-hyun's former flame, Bo-kyung. The situation became even more awkward when they found Soo-jung and Jae-hyun in a compromising position in the locker room. Jae-hyun, shirtless and flustered, quickly dashed away. Later, the couple found themselves at a train station, preparing to part ways and return to their usual routines. The air was thick with unsaid words and feelings. After their separation, Jae-hyun eventually tracked down Jin Chul and asked him for an autograph to give to Soo-jung as a memento. Meanwhile, Soo-jung took a significant step. She ended her decade-long relationship with her boyfriend, realizing she'd spent far too many years with someone who never truly understood her. The next day, Jae-hyun decided to surprise Soo-jung by delivering a signed promotional letter from Jin Chul to her office. But, as luck would have it, she was out for lunch. Instead of waiting, Jae-hyun left the letter with the receptionist and added a personal note for Soo-jung. While at a nearby restaurant, Soo-jung was having lunch with a coworker. She opened up about ending her long-term relationship. As they talked, Jae-hyun took a seat close by, hoping to catch a glimpse of Soo-jung. He ended up overhearing their conversation. His heart sank when Soo-jung, perhaps trying to play it cool or protect herself, described their intimate evening as just a one-night fling, brushing it off as nothing significant. Hurt by her words, Jae-hyun quickly left the restaurant. However, he couldn't resist waiting outside, hoping to see her one more time. Soo-jung was taken aback when she saw him waiting as she exited the restaurant. After the tense moment outside the restaurant, Jae-hyun, feeling let down, decided to distance himself from Soo-jung. This created a rift between them, and both carried heavy hearts, longing for the bond they once shared. Time passed and Soo-jung remained unaware of the touching note Jae-hyun had left her, tucked inside the envelope with Jin Chol's promotional letter. It wasn't until the office receptionist pointed it out that she discovered Jae-hyun's heartfelt message, expressing his hope of cherishing days spent with her. Upon reading the message, emotions welled up in Soo-jung. She knew she had to find Jae-hyun and set things right. Her first stop was the basketball stadium, where she hoped to find some information on his whereabouts from Dongwon. Dongwon informed her that Jae-hyun was leaving for Chicago that very day. Panicking, Soo-jung dashed to the train station, desperately hoping to catch Jae-hyun before his departure. Her heart sank as she watched the train pull away, thinking she had missed her chance. But as she turned around, preparing to leave with a heavy heart, a familiar face appeared from the elevator. To her astonishment, it was Jae-hyun. He hadn't boarded the train after all. Their eyes met and words were unnecessary. The weight of their misunderstandings and unspoken feelings melted away. With that reunion, they began anew, embracing their relationship and cherishing their time together. The film artfully circles back to its inception, subtly revealing a predestined encounter. The opening scene, a seemingly innocuous moment where a stray basketball hits Soo-jung, is now given profound significance. The realization that the ball was from Jae-hyun underscores the theme of serendipity that runs throughout the narrative. At that instance, due to unforeseen circumstances, Jae-hyun was unable to follow Soo-jung, yet destiny had other plans and ensured their paths would intertwine. In a lighter comedic twist towards the final, the film showcases Dongwon emulating Jae-hyun's technique in courting a foreign lady. The situation becomes even more amusing when it's unveiled that the woman in question is Ryujin, Soo-jung's close associate. Dongwon's unsuccessful attempt, culminating in a slap from Ryujin, humorously underscores the notion that not every method is universally effective. The implication is clear. What worked for the charismatic and affluent Jae-hyun might not be suitable for everyone. With this humorous note, the movie gracefully comes to a close, leaving audiences with a chuckle and thoughts about fate, love, and the idiosyncrasies of human interactions. The moral of the story is being rich and handsome doesn't guarantee a slap-free romantic approach.